What's going on, everybody watching this? We're talking about the Minnesota Gophers today in another win total video, another college football win total video, another Big Ten win total video. Don't mind the shirt today. I am packing up for college. All my clothes are away, so I had to throw on something a little, like a sleeping shirt for today. So just bear with me for today. I'm only doing 3 of the win total videos. Honestly, low-key, the middle of the pack, win total videos. Minnesota's got a win total of 5.5 as well as the other 2 we did today. This is crazy because Minnesota can go over this win total and be dead last in the Big Ten. And I almost have that happening in my most likely sim, which is kind of crazy. And I would love to see that. That would just be so funny if they went over their win total but finished dead last somehow in the Big Ten. It is possible, and it can happen. Over 5.5 right now, best number is plus 105. There are, I would say, minus 105 is the more most likely number that is out there. Talk about the Minnesota schedule here. How it's going to work. We're going to go through the wins. We're going to go through the losses. We'll talk about the toss-up games. That will give us a side over or under. I'll say how much I like it, and I'll say whether or not I am betting it. Minnesota Gophers start week 1 at home against North Carolina. Monster game. This is on a Thursday. This is week 1 Thursday. This is opening night on Fox. This is a big game. Minnesota right now is 2.5-point favorites, and I lean Minnesota, but this game could determine a win total. I don't necessarily have it right here to determine the win total, but it could. So if you like the over Minnesota, you might want to bet Minnesota here. If you don't like the over Minnesota, just kind of bet North Carolina. You don't really need to bet the over-under when it's kind of all comes down to this week 1 game in some sims. I'm taking Minnesota here. I just think... I don't know what North Carolina is. If you've been watching my win total videos, I've been saying they're a big question mark team this year. I don't know what the offense is going to look like. I don't know what the defenses look like. People have their defense powering in the top 25. This defense for North Carolina has been atrocious the last 2 years under Drake May. When Drake May was quarterback, the defense was one of the worst defenses in the country, along with USC. Isn't that weird? UNC and Drake May, their defense was atrocious. USC had Caleb Williams, their defense was atrocious. Isn't that kind of funny? But now apparently their defense is amazing. It's something I gotta I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing for North Carolina. So I am taking Minnesota. I think their defense is going to be too much for UNC to come out and play against a week 1 kind of game with a new quarterback and new offense, the whole thing. I'm taking Minnesota in a very close one. Week 2, they play an FCS team. They're home for Rhode Island. That's a win. They're 2-0. Week 3, they play one of the worst FBS teams in the country in Nevada. They're 3-0 here to start. Week 4, they're home for Iowa. Man, I know the Iowas having offensive problems, but this is a tough one. I'm giving it to Iowa. I think Iowa is still the cream of the crop when it comes to playing defense, playing field position, and winning that way. And I think Minnesota kind of does that to an extent. And Iowa just does it better than anybody in the country. So I'm taking Iowa in that game. It's a 3-1 start, which is a pretty good start here for Minnesota. Week 5, they're on the road against Michigan. I have as a loss. I think Michigan will just run the ball over them. The pass rush is going to be tough to block here for Michigan, for anybody to block. So I'm taking Michigan. It's 3-2 here for Minnesota. Week 6, they're home for USC. I have as a win. I don't know if USC is going to realize what the traveling to Minnesota in the cold is going to be like. They're going to experience it this year. I don't know if they're going to be ready. I don't know if Miller Moss and that USC squad is going to be ready. I am taking Minnesota to win this game. Call me crazy. I think they win this game. They're 4-2 here. We need 2 more wins. But week 7, they're on the road against UCLA. Now, UCLA is a much worse team. I'm giving this one to UCLA. It's literally the exact opposite reasoning here. The same reasoning, just opposite sides here. And maybe you don't agree with that one. Maybe you think Minnesota wins that game, but maybe you think USC wins that game, right? So it's a 1-1 split for these 2 games. That's what I have it as, a 1-1 split. I have them 4-3. Week 9, I have as a split with Week 11. Week 9, they're home for Maryland, and Week 11, they're on the road against Rutgers. Week 10, they're on the road against Illinois. I have them winning 1 out of those 3 games. Home for Maryland, on the road against Illinois, on the road against Rutgers. I have them winning 1 of those 3 games. So they're ultimately 5-5 here with 2 games to go. Can they get a win to get this over here for Minnesota with 2 games? Week 12 bye. Out of the bye, week 13, they're home for Penn State, Nittany Lions. I have that one as a loss. maybe they can come out and play hard against the Penn State. But if Penn State, I don't think people realize if Penn State has any, is offense is any better than it was last year, I think Penn State is a real threat. Is a very sneaky team, a sleeper team. To make some upsets in the playoffs, and I already bet them to make the playoffs. I think they have a chance to be like a 10-2, 11-1, very, very underrated sleeper team. And that's a big if their offense is better than it was last year. I mean, it's the same quarterback, so we'll see what they can do. Week 14 to cash this win total. The thing is, Wisconsin is who they're playing in a big rivalry game. They might also need this game to cash their over. So this could be a very, very interesting game when it comes to over here. I'm taking the home team in Wisconsin. I like Fickle way better than the Minnesota coach. I'm taking Wisconsin. I trust Tyler Van Dyke a little bit more than the Minnesota quarterback. I lean Wisconsin, especially at home in a big rivalry game. I'm taking Wisconsin. I'm taking the under from Minnesota. I don't love it. I'm not really a fan of it. Like these three I just did, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, I can get all three of these wrong, and honestly, I would not care at this moment because the variance is so close for these 5.5 middle teams because they all got to play each other. They all are literally playing each other. And I got to somehow predict 5 coin flip games on all their schedules, figuring out if they're going over or under. I'm saying under 5.5. I don't love it. If you would ask me a month ago, I might have said over for this team. But now I say under. I like USC a little bit more now. I like UCLA a little bit more now. I like Michigan a little bit more now. I like Penn State a little bit more now. And I like Rutgers a little bit more now. And now I'm on the under for the Minnesota Gophers here. If you want more Big Ten win total, we're not betting it, by the way. But if you want more Big Ten win total videos, go on my channel. There's a playlist. They're all there. And if you want more college football win totals in general, I got the Big 12, I got the ACC, all in playlists. So go hit the subscribe button, too, while you're at it, while you're looking for those playlists. I'm Josh Wissey. Thank you.